The seconds are out. The crowd is waiting. The boxers are getting ready to battle. Time for another edition of the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast with your presenter, Greg Rashid.
I want to say Swadek Krap to everyone out there, which means hello in Thai. Yes, I'm in Bangkok, Thailand. This is Greg Rashid with another edition of the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast. And if you're new to the program, what we do on here, we do fantasy fights. We take various different modalities, computer games, card and dice games. Today we're going to be using today Legends of Boxing 2 PC game created by Gary Brown. And we also talk about real fighting on here, combat sports, and as well, we play music at the end of the show. And we just are so happy that you have taken the time to join us. So many people listen on various platforms, but a lot of folks listen every Sunday afternoon in Colorado at 3 p.m. Mountain Time on KUHSdenver.com. I want to say hi to all my friends, especially Henry Archuleta, who's the creator, the originator of KUHS. Just want to say hi to everyone out there. I keep saying I'm coming back to Colorado. I'll be back there at some point to visit. But anyway, I'm here in in Bangkok. You know, I was thinking about Boulder because there's something coming up there that I'm telling a friend about in Boulder. But anyway, we're going to have a great show today, as we always do. And the fight today is going to be a junior welterweight fight. As I said before, we'll be using Legends of Boxing 2, the PC game. It's going to be Aaron Pryor, the Hawk, versus Ricky Hatton, the Hitman. And this should be exciting because those are two heavy hitters. So we're going to get to the fight in just a moment. But I want to remind everyone out there to please, if you can, go to our Patreon site, Ringside Fantasy Fights in News, and consider becoming a Patreon. You know, $1 a month, whatever you can do, as so many other folks have done. And just, it helps so much with the equipment here. It just helps a lot. So if you care about the program, love what we're doing here, just, you know, if you can do it, just $1 a month, whatever you can do. Really appreciate it. But right now, settle back, get your favorite beverage, whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to eat, you know, get in your recliner, and it is time for Knockout Nigel. And he's covering the fight between Hatton and Pryor. So take it away, Knockout.
Cheers, fight fans. This is Knockout Nigel, your humble commentator, reporting live from a raucous AO arena in Manchester, England, where the beloved hitman, Ricky Hatton, steps into the ring against the legendary Hawk, Aaron Pryor, in a dream junior welterweight clash. Now, let me set the scene for you. Ricky Hatton, Manchester's own, a relentless pressure fighter with a vicious body attack and a fanatical following. The hitman's never backed down from a brawl, and his wars with Kostiatsu and Floyd Mayweather are the stuff of British boxing folklore. Across the ring stands Aaron Pryor, Cincinnati's whirlwind, the man who terrorized the 140-pound division in the 80s with his inhuman stamina, granite chin, and wild, unpredictable combinations. Pryor's two brutal wins over Alexis Argüello cemented his place as one of the greatest junior welterweights of all time. Tonight, we've got fantasy matchmaking at its finest, two all-action warriors colliding in a fight that promises fireworks. The crowd's electric, the tension's palpable, and the bell's about to ring. This bubbly from the pub across the street will get my circuits going for round one. The bell rings, and we're off. Hatton, true to form, comes charging out of his corner like a bull, looking to establish his trademark body attack early. Pryor, ever the tactician, circles to his right, flicking out that sharp, stinging jab to keep Hatton at bay. The crowd is already in full voice, chanting, "There's only one Ricky Hatton," as their man bobs forward behind a high guard. Pryor suddenly changes levels and fires a laser-guided right cross over Hatton's low left hand. Crack! The shot lands flush on the bridge of Hatton's nose, and immediately a crimson stream begins trickling down his face. The hitman shakes his head, more annoyed than hurt, and fires back with a vicious 1-2 to Pryor's ribs. Pryor eats them well, but is forced to reset as Hatton presses forward, cutting off the ring. With 1 minute and 30 left in the round, Hatton feints a jab to the body and then rips a double left hook, first to the liver, then upstairs. Pryor's knees dip slightly, and for the first time he looks rattled. He instinctively grabs Hatton in a clinch, burying his head in the Brit's shoulder to smother the attack. The referee breaks them, and Pryor wisely uses the separation to reset, bouncing on his toes like a coiled spring. In the final 30 seconds, Pryor starts letting his hands go, throwing rapid-fire combinations. Hatton blocks most, but a sneaky left-right lands clean, sending Hatton stumbling back into the ropes just as the bell sounds. The crowd gasps. Hatton grins and nods, but that was a statement from Pryor to close the round. A razor-thin round to score. Hatton's corner works frantically between rounds to stem the blood from his nose. But as soon as the bell rings, Pryor is on him like a hurricane. The Hawk comes out in a southpaw stance for a brief moment, throwing Hatton off rhythm before switching back orthodox and firing a 3-punch combo, jab, straight right, left hook, all landing with sickening precision. Hatton, ever the warrior, stands his ground and responds with a thudding left hook of his own that snaps Pryor's head back. The crowd erupts as the two trade heavy leather in the center of the ring, neither man giving an inch. With 2 minutes 10 left, Hatton feints a body shot and comes upstairs with a picture-perfect right uppercut that lifts Pryor's chin skyward. Pryor stumbles back a step, but before Hatton can capitalize, the American counters with a monstrous left hook that lands right on the button. Hatton's legs turn to rubber, and down he goes, crashing onto the seat of his trunks. The arena falls silent as the referee begins the count. Hatton's up at 3, but his eyes are glassy and his legs are unsteady. Pryor, smelling blood, launches a full-scale assault. He corners Hatton near the blue turnbuckle and unleashes a 12-punch salvo, hooks, uppercuts, straights, all thrown with murderous intent. Hatton covers up bravely, but a sickening left hook to the liver doubles him over, followed by a right uppercut left hook combo that sends him down again. This time, Hatton takes a knee, spitting out his mouthguard as he rises at 7. The referee takes a long look at Hatton's wobbling legs and vacant stare. With just 7 seconds left in the round, he's seen enough. He waves his arms, and it's all over. Pryor leaps onto the ropes in triumph as the Manchester crowd sits in stunned silence. The Hawk has landed in England and left with a devastating knockout victory. Well, fight fans, we expected a war, but Aaron Pryor just delivered a masterclass in ferocity. The Hawk's speed, power, and unrelenting pressure were too much for Hatton tonight. The hitman gave it his all, but Pryor's counterpunching and killer instinct proved the difference. The arena's silent, except for a few stunned murmurs. Nobody saw this coming so soon. Pryor raises his arms in triumph, while Hatton, ever the warrior, nods in respect. What a performance from the American legend. For Ricky Hatton, it's a tough pill to swallow, but his legacy as one of Britain's greatest brawlers remains intact. As for Pryor, tonight he reminded the world why he's one of the most feared men to ever lace up gloves. I will now return you to our Bangkok studios. This is Knockout Nigel. Cheers.
You know, I'm proud of Knockout Nigel. He was very impartial in that fight. You know, he didn't cry over, at least I found out later through Kiki, the ring card girl, that in the dressing room, Knockout was really crying and bawling, but he kept his composure, even though one of his favorite fighters, you know, Britain's own Ricky Hatton, lost. But, you know, I'm proud of him. And listening to that what if fight, I could imagine that really happening if there was a way they could have gotten together in some sort of time capsule, but a time machine too. But I hope you enjoyed that fight. And, you know, it's funny that, we had Ricky Hatton's fight on here, and he's actually coming back at the age, I believe, of 46. And this is something that's been talked about at the water cooler over here during coffee breaks with Malcolm and Ella. And by the way, Malcolm and Ella, a lot of people I found out, they really like that little segment. So we're expanding it on here, as well as they have their own now separate show called Sports Bites. So check it out on YouTube and wherever you listen to programs. Sports Bites. So let's hear what they have to say about Ricky Hatton's comeback on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
So what makes a champion, someone who's been retired for, 13 years, decide to step back into the ring at 46?
Right. Especially when the whole thing kicks off with, one of the strangest injuries you'll hear about, involving sunglasses and Oasis.
Exactly. Today, we're doing a deep dive into Ricky the Hitman Hatton, 4-time world champ, boxing legend, loved by so many.
And his pretty shocking return to professional boxing.
Yeah. Our mission today is really to unpack all the twists here, figure out the reasons behind it, look back at his career, the highs, the lows, it was never dull.
Definitely not. We'll be looking at the sources, trying to get beyond just the what happened and into the why.
Okay, and let's start with the what, because that initial announcement, wow.
Yeah, it's quite something.
So the plan was Ricky Hatton announces his comeback in Dubai. Big press event, probably.
Makes sense, but then disaster strikes. Almost comically.
He's rushing to get into a car, right? Heading to an Oasis comeback gig in Cardiff. Apparently he's a massive Oasis fan.
Which fits, somehow.
And he manages to poke himself in the eye with his own sunglasses.
Seriously.
Our sources say it actually punctured the protective layer of his pupil, exposed the nerves. Sounds incredibly painful.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, medics at the Manchester Royal Eye Hospital basically said, you are not getting on a plane.
So no grand Dubai announcement. Instead, he's on Zoom telling the world he's fighting Isa Alda on December 2nd from home because of the sunglasses.
A boxing legend taken down by his own shades at an Oasis concert. You can't make this stuff up.
You really can't. It definitely set a, let's say, an unconventional tone right from the start, didn't it?
It absolutely did. And what's fascinating, I think, is how that kind of minor, almost freakish accident immediately sort of reshaped the whole narrative.
How so?
Well, it kind of humanized him instantly, made the comeback feel less like this big calculated corporate move and more Ricky Hatton maybe. A bit chaotic, relatable.
That's a really good point. Vulnerability does that sometimes.
Exactly. And it leads straight into the big question.
Why now? After all this time?
Right.
And Hatton himself, to be fair, he's been quite open about it. He says, I'm in a really good place now, loving life, trying to bring the next champions through.
So coaching, training.
Yeah. And he says, the opportunity has come for me to get in the ring and do it again. But crucially, he frames it around his mindset and mental health.
Ah, okay. So not about belts or legacy, necessarily.
He says it gives him focus and helps keep me healthy, not the opposite. He's realistic, too, acknowledges he's not world level anymore.
Sensible.
He calls this fight against Alda, who's also 46, soon 47, a good and sensible fight for where he is now.
And he compares himself to other older fighters coming back, right? Like Tyson, Pacquiao.
Yeah, exactly. Malignaggi, Shane Mosley. He basically says, we're fighters, it's what we do. That sort of ingrained identity.
Okay, that sounds pretty clear. Proactive, even?
It does. But then you have to look at the history, don't you? The struggles after he first retired back in 2012 are really well documented.
Yeah, that period was rough.
Our sources talk about how hard it was for him to replace that brutal intensity and adrenaline rush of pro boxing.
Avoid.
Exactly. And it led to some dark places. Wild nights smashed on cocaine, marathon booze benders. He even spoke about being on the brink of suicide.
That's incredibly serious. And the Priory Clinic visit in 2010.
Right. After being filmed snorting cocaine, he admitted alcohol was a crutch. Talked about drinking like 3 pints Monday to Thursday, then 8 or 10 pints of Guinness on the weekends.
Wow. That's a lot. Consistently.
And his long-term relationship, 11 years with Jennifer Dooley, that broke down in 2016 too.
So, a lot of turmoil. And didn't he say his last comeback, the one in 2012 against Sinchenko?
The one he lost, yeah. He explicitly said that was for reasons other than boxing, to fight my demons.
Okay, so there's a pattern, maybe, or at least a history of using boxing to cope with personal struggles.
Which is why the public reaction now seems so divided. You look on X, formerly Twitter, and it's everything from, yeah.
Can't you just go and do I'm a celebrity or something if you need a few quid, pal? Ouch.
To genuine support, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll be watching Ricky. You've always been one of my favorite fighters. Real affection there.
So the big question hanging over it all is, which is it this time? Is the comeback a sign that maybe those old struggles are bubbling up again?
Or is it genuinely, like he says, a positive step for his well-being now? Yeah. A way to stay focused and healthy.
That's the core issue, isn't it? Because on the surface, his explanation sounds positive. Finding focus, structure, health.
Right.
But when you layer that over the past, the documented struggles with addiction, the previous fighting demons comeback, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
How do you, or even how does he, separate needing that structure and intensity for genuine well-being versus sort of falling back into an old pattern because it's the only way he knows how to feel that alive?
The identity crisis you mentioned. Exactly. That classic athlete post-retirement challenge. Who are you when the roar of the crowd stops? And the public's mixed reaction, it kind of perfectly reflects that ambiguity, doesn't it? People are asking, is this really about now or is it about the past?
It's a really powerful lens to view this through. And maybe to understand that pull, that intensity, we need to rewind a bit. Look at the career itself.
Yeah, the Hitman story.
It's quite the journey. Started, very humble beginnings. Counselor state kid, left school, became a carpet fitter.
Yeah.
150 pounds a week.
Wow.
And he said himself, boxing started off as a habit, and it ended up giving me some money and making me a little bit of a better person. It gave him a path.
And what a path. Some incredible nights.
Absolutely legendary. Not just the fights, but the whole circus around them. Like December 2007, Las Vegas, Floyd Mayweather Jr.
The big one. Mayweather was, peak pound-for-pound best at the time, right?
Untouchable, pretty much. And the build-up was pure Ricky. Remember the trash talk?
Vaguely. Mayweather said something pretty out there.
Oh, yeah. Something like, I wish I was in prison with you. I'd make you my bitch.
Whoa. Okay.
And Hatton, quick as a flash, comes back with, having another boxer threatening to do that to me is a first, but I would like to think I have got a fantastic bum.
Uh-huh. Classic Hatton wit. He knew how to play the game.
Totally. And the atmosphere in Vegas, electric. Our sources say over 6,000 Brits flew over. They were singing Walking in a Hatton Wonderland. The Sun newspaper even flew over the England football supporters band to play it. Right. Apparently Mayweather's people kicked them out eventually, but still. And the celebs ringside.
Right, it was huge.
Denzel Washington, Bruce Willis, Sly Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Will Ferrell, Gwen Stefani, Jude Law, Tom Jones saying God Save the Queen, David Beckham was there. It was massive.
That's insane star power.
Yeah.
A proper event.
But the fight itself, it was brutal for Ricky. 10th round, Mayweather lands this huge left hook. Hatton goes down, gets up, but his legs are just gone. Knocked down again. Fight over.
His first ever loss, right?
Yeah.
After 42 wins.
First loss in 43 pro fights.
Yeah.
And the aftermath, apparently his girlfriend Jennifer Dooley was in tears in the dressing room.
Understandably.
And get this, she was being consoled by Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
Seriously. Brangelina.
Yeah.
That tells you the level of fame Hatton had reached.
Absolutely. He said later that the unrelenting physical destruction from that fight was just incredibly hard to recover from mentally and physically.
I can only imagine. That wasn't just a fight. It was a massive cultural moment, like you said. It cemented him as the people's champion, even in defeat, attracting Hollywood royalty.
It's true.
But it really makes you think about the long-term cost of those brutal fights. When your biggest stage involves such a public, physical dismantling, the psychological weight must be immense. How do athletes even process that, especially when their identity is so tied up in being invincible?
It's a heavy burden. And the spectacle, the almost surreal moments just kept coming. Remember the Oasis connection again?
Yeah, the Malignaggi
It's
fight,
an
November
underdog.
2008, Vegas again.
That's the one. Liam and Noel Gallagher carried his world title belts into the ring.
That's amazing. Proper rock and roll entrance.
And Hatton tells this story about Liam just going straight past him, straight past Noel, right up to Malignaggi, shoving the belt in his face and saying something like, "What do you think about that, you Ted?"
Oh, Liam.
Hatton said Liam was then walking around ringside giving Malignaggi's fans the two-fingered salute. He thought, Liam's gonna get us all killed here.
Pure chaos, but pure box office gold, right?
Absolutely. Then came Manny Pacquiao, May 2009.
The Pac-Man. Another level entirely.
Yeah, the only boxer ever to win 12 world titles in 8 weight divisions. Hatton said Pacquiao was just from a different stratosphere.
And the fight reflected that, didn't it? It was quick.
Brutally quick. Dropped twice in the first round, knocked out cold in the second. Just a savage beating, as the reports called it. Another really tough one to take.
2 devastating losses back-to-back against all-time greats. That takes a toll.
No doubt. And, we can't talk about Hatton without mentioning his unique approach to training, or rather, between training camps.
Ah, yes. The Ricky Hatton era.
Exactly. He'd train like an absolute maniac, get super fit, then pile on the pounds between fights, takeaways, pints.
The press loved those pictures, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, they had a field day with the Ricky Hatton jibes.
Yeah.
But he owned it, didn't he? He used to say, it's unconventional, but it works for me.
And maybe it did, for a while. But it probably shortened his peak, you'd think.
Almost certainly. That lifestyle isn't sustainable long-term in elite boxing. And by 2010, he was only 31, but he was saying stuff like, I don't think I will have a fight again. No fire in the belly.
And he retired then, initially.
Yeah, with a great record, 45 wins, just those 2 losses to Mayweather and Pacquiao. And thankfully, his health seemed okay then.
Looking at that pattern, the intense discipline of training, then the extreme release with food and drink, it sort of mirrors the bigger picture, doesn't it? The highs and lows. Well, it speaks to that challenge of finding balance, maybe. Yeah. That difficulty leaving the high-octane world behind. The Ricky Hatton thing wasn't just about weight. It was maybe part of that whole cycle of intensity and release that defined his career, and perhaps his post-retirement struggles, too.
That's insightful. The need for that extreme feeling one way or another.
Yeah, that identity of being a fighter, the adrenaline. It's powerful stuff. Very hard to just switch off.
Which brings us back to today. Given all that history, all that intensity, what does this comeback actually look like?
The fight itself, you mean?
Yeah. The opponent, Isa Aldaa. What do we know?
Well, sources say he's the same age, basically. 46 now, will be 47 by fight night. His pro record is 8 wins, 3 losses. Last fought back in 2021.
So not exactly a current world beater. No disrespect intended.
No, and Hatton acknowledges that. The organizers are calling it a professional bout, but there's some fuzziness. It's unclear if it will be fully sanctioned, or if maybe it'll have special conditions, like shorter rounds or fewer rounds, a bit like the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight had planned.
Okay, so definitely not a world title eliminator or anything like that. It's a different kind of event.
Very different, and that seems deliberate. Hatton keeps stressing it's a good and sensible fight for him now, not about climbing back to the top.
He wants people to trust him on this.
Yeah, he said, trust me, I feel great, and it will be nothing but great for me. That messaging is consistent. It's about him, his focus, his well-being.
So the choice of opponent, the likely conditions, his own statements, it all points towards something more personal.
It seems that way. Less about reclaiming past glory, perhaps more about reclaiming a sense of purpose or control through the discipline of training and having a goal again. It's demonstrative, perhaps, rather than purely competitive at the highest level.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We started with that truly bizarre eye injury at the Oasis gig.
Almost derailed the announcement before it began.
We explored the mental health reasons Hatton himself gives for this comeback, contrasting it with his past struggles.
The addictions, the previous fighting demons return, that whole complex picture.
And we revisited the highs and lows of the hitman's career. The Mayweather spectacle, the Pacquiao loss, the Oasis entrances, the Ricky Hatton stuff.
A legendary career full of intense moments, both good and bad.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
It does. I suppose the final thought to leave listeners with is something like this. Considering Ricky Hatton's whole journey, the massive fame, the brutal fights, the public struggles, and now this comeback framed around mental health, what does it really mean to find purpose after a life defined by something so intense.
Especially under that constant public microscope.
Exactly. For these elite athletes, how do they navigate that void when the competition ends? And maybe what can we learn from Hatton's ongoing search for meaning, both inside the ring and out, about supporting people through those huge life transitions?
A lot to think about there. A compelling story, however it plays out.
Yeah, you hope that Hatton rethinks all that, but, fighters, some of them, they miss that limelight and they want to come back, and some of them have monetary problems, you never know. But thank you for that, Malcolm and Ella. And they have another story, because there's another fighter who's coming back next week. If you're listening to this program, I'm actually taping this program on July the 9th. July the 9th. And I'm looking at the wrong calendar here. On July the 12th. And next week, Manny Pacquiao, at the age of 46 too, is coming back to fight. I mean, I don't know. You think he's well off, but you never know. Maybe Hatton and Pacquiao should just fight each other. They're both 46. But anyway, right now we're going to have Malcolm and Ella. They're going to talk about Pacquiao's fight that's coming up next week with the WBC welterweight champion Barrios. So let's hear that right now on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Okay, there's this real electric buzz, a hum of anticipation around a legendary figure heading back into the ring.
There really is.
What is it about this comeback Manny Pacquiao stepping back in that's got everyone talking so much right now?
It's something special, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're diving deep into that highly anticipated fight between, the icon Manny Pacquiao and the current champ Mario Barrios.
Right.
That's set for July 19th.
Right.
And our mission here is really to pull out the key bits of knowledge, the insights from, a whole stack of sources. We've got boxing experts, analysts, some surprising behind-the-scenes stuff, even stats predictions.
Yeah, and by the time we're done, you'll walk away with a really solid grasp of the stakes, the different views on who might win, and maybe the deeper reasons for this generational clash. You're going to hear straight from people who know the sport, inside-out fighters, coaches. Even a Mayweather perspective is in there. So, yeah, let's unpack the legend first.
Absolutely. When you talk Manny Pacquiao, you're talking one of the greatest ever. A future Hall of Famer, plain and simple.
His legacy is it's unprecedented. The only fighter to win world titles in 8 different weight divisions. It's almost hard to comprehend.
It really is.
His record, 62 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, 39 KOs. As someone who follows this closely, what's the key to that kind of dominance moving through weights like that?
It's truly astonishing. It's got to be this unique mix of just raw talent, an absolutely relentless work ethic, and an incredible fight IQ.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really interesting here is how his character, this sort of integrity you don't always see, has shaped things. Stephen A. Smith pointed out, Pacquiao never ran from anybody. He completely respected the sport, an ultimate champion. That respect, it matters.
And that integrity, it clearly goes beyond boxing. Stephen A. Smith even calls him one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
And those stories, people in the Philippines literally lining up in the streets for money from him. His charity is immense, sometimes even hurting his own finances, apparently. They call him a special dude, boxing's gold standard in gloves and generosity. Does that kind of generosity ever, crash with being a pro fighter?
Oh, it absolutely can.
Yeah.
It's admirable, no question, but it does make you wonder about juggling such a demanding career with those huge personal commitments.
Right.
And that ties right into the big question.
Right.
Why come back now? His last pro fight, that was lost to Ugas in 2021. His last win was against Keith Thurman way back in 2019.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's been properly active.
Exactly. So you hear people like Timothy Bradley, Jeff Mayweather Floyd's uncle, suggesting it has to be financial, calling it a money grab. But then Greg Hackett has a slightly different angle. He calls Pacquiao calculated, a straight-up businessman who wants to steal as much as he can steal, but he means that strategically, not, shading him.
So how do we square that? Is it just needing the cash? Or is it a smart business play? Like that line about making a final money fight before he ghostwrites your favorite boxer's retirement speech?
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Look, a fighter like Pacquiao commands huge money, And given his generosity, finances are definitely a factor, no doubt.
Sure.
But calling him calculated also points to his smarts outside the ring. He's always made savvy career moves. This could just be maximizing one last big payday, choosing an opponent he thinks he could beat, maybe go out on a high, less desperation, more shrewdness.
Okay, but a legend's return needs a real challenge. Right? So Mario Barrios, he's not just some walkover.
No, definitely not. Barrios is the current WBC welterweight champ. Got that title June 2024.
Okay.
She's got a solid record, too. 29 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 18 knockouts. And the key thing, he's 30, right in his physical prime. This isn't just a young guy. He's a young champion.
And yeah, when they faced off, you could really see the size difference. Barrios looked noticeably bigger.
He did.
He's listed at 183 centimeters, 5'10". That gives him, 17 centimeters? Is like 6.5 inches height advantage over Manny, who's 5'5.5".
Huge difference.
Plus a 4-inch reach advantage, 71 inches to Pacquiao's 67. How much does that physical stuff matter at this elite level, especially against a legend?
Oh, it matters a lot, especially when you throw Pacquiao's age into the mix.
Yeah.
Barrios isn't just taller. He's a naturally bigger welterweight.
Right.
And his style works with that. Sharp fundamentals, a really crisp jab, and he's got a good engine. Should last 12 rounds. Robert Garcia mentioned he's young, big, hungry, and has heart, even if people have questioned his skills or chin before. That jab and reach that could let him control the fight from the outside, keep Manny away, maybe wear him down late.
So his youth, his size, those are the big advantages. Which, brings us right to the elephant in the ring. Manny Pacquiao's age, 46. That's pretty much the consensus biggest disadvantage, right?
How big a deal is age for a top boxer? Yeah, it's massive. Father Time is undefeated in boxing, as they say. Tim C was pretty blunt. I can't see Manny winning. Age is a big factor.
Wow.
Robert Garcia basically said the same. I don't see how at 46 he could win. It's not just about speed. It's recovery, reaction time, the accumulated damage.
Yeah.
Even tiny fractions of a second count.
Yeah.
And Timothy Bradley put it starkly. Sometimes these old legends got to get beat up before they call it quits. It's harsh, but it's often the reality for greats who push too long. That competitive fire.
And this is where it gets really interesting. There's this whole other narrative bubbling up. Like, some say his engine might be running on nostalgia. Okay.
Right.
But then you hear from, Conor Benn's friends who are adamant. He's looking amazing. He looks better now than before. Someone even joked about his abs having better attendance than most gym memberships. How do you make sense of those two completely opposite views? Is it just fan loyalty, or is something else going on?
It's a great point, and it really speaks to the mystique around these once-in-a-generation athletes.
Yeah.
Logic says decline is inevitable.
Yeah.
But Pacquiao has always kind of defied logic, those reports about his shape. Maybe it doesn't mean he's better than he was at 30, but it suggests he's kept himself in incredible condition, almost unheard of for 46.
Mm-hmm.
Conor Benn's friend having that full-blown Manny devotion arc, saying he's not going to lose. That comes from seeing Manny pull off the impossible for years.
Sure.
And even with the age, you've got Timothy Bradley warning that Manny's C game is better than a lot of guys' A game. Greg Hackett agreed. He's not just still fighting, he's still dangerous.
So if his C game is still that good, what does that actually mean for Barrios? Why is a guy clearly past his physical peak still such a threat?
It means he still has that incredible fight IQ, deceptive power for his size, and just decades of ingrained muscle memory for elite footwork and angles. Even if his hand speed is, say, 10-15% less, it's still faster than most guys out there. His experience lets him see things, anticipate, counter, exploit openings younger fighters miss. He knows how to manage a fight, even tired. It's that combo of knowledge and innate talent that keeps him dangerous, even as the physical tools fade a bit.
That makes sense. So this incredible clash, experience versus youth, age as the central drama. Let's get into the predictions, the strategies. What are the strong arguments for Pacquiao actually winning this, despite everything?
Well, Keith Thurman's interesting because he's fought both. He suggests a path for Manny. If Pacman's conditioning holds up, if he can use his instep, get inside effectively, he can hurt Mario Barrios.
Yeah.
Thurman thinks Barrios' defense is still suspect, that he's willing to get caught and not hard to find. Basically vulnerable to Manny's flurries if he gets close.
And Nonito Donaire, another vet, his advice is use your speed, use your feint, that in and out movement. He thinks if Pacquiao fights that way, it's 100% for him.
Right, playing to his classic strengths.
Right. Chris Manx also likes Pacquiao's chances. Said he wasn't impressed with Barrios against Maidana, noted Barrios swells up fast, and predicted Pacquiao is going to hit him in the face. Manx even called Barrios the most beatable welterweight. What's the common theme here for a Pacquiao win?
It all comes back to Pacquiao's unique gifts. Speed, angles, volume punching. They think Barrios, despite the size, has defensive holes Manny can exploit if he closes the distance. And surprisingly, Jeff Mayweather backs Pacquiao too. Said, I don't think Barrios is going to win. I think Manny is going to win. Yes, convincingly.
Wow, convincing win for Mayweather.
Yeah. Even OddsShark suggests Pacquiao's best shot is catching Barrios early with those signature flurries and left-hand counters.
They frame it as early KO or nothing at all if you're betting on the legend. It's all or nothing for Pac-Man, basically.
Okay, but the betting odds heavily favor Barrios. And Thurman, even seeing a pass for Manny, ultimately picked Barrios if he stays long and can pepper Pacquiao with his jab, make him move, get tired. Why is that jab so critical? The jab is everything for Barrios here. It's about controlling distance, setting the pace. If he lands it consistently, he keeps Manny outside, breaks his rhythm, and just slowly chips away at that 46-year-old gas tank over 12 rounds.
Makes sense.
OddsShark reflects that.
Right.
Barrios is the 330 favorite, their pick. Barrios by decision, plus 220. They call it a potential respectful passing of the torch. Too big, too young, too sharp for Barrios to slip up. Use the jab, manage range, wear him down.
Greg Hackett sees Barrios winning potentially with a jab and jog strategy like Ugas used.
Exactly.
And Robert Garcia, while respectful, felt Pacquiao avoided tougher fights like Boutsenis, maybe suggesting Barrios was a safer but smarter option, possibly due to promotional ties.
How much of Barrios winning is his skill versus Manny's decline or opponent choice?
It's a mix. Barrios has legit good fundamentals, but yet the opponent choice feels deliberate. They probably wouldn't put Manny in with the devastating puncher at this stage.
Right. Barrios offers a technical challenge, disciplined, but maybe lacks that one-punch KO power some others have. That jab and jog is perfect for exploiting an older fighter's stamina and movement issues. It's about outboxing him, frustrating him, not necessarily knocking him out cold.
And you can't really talk Pacquiao without Floyd Mayweather chiming in, right? Floyd called Manny one of the best I faced, said he just don't stop coming. But he also gave some insight into his own tactics.
Yeah, that was fascinating. Floyd actually detailed his strategy. I keep my distance. Because he's real short, I keep turning him.
The movement.
Exactly. And then he dropped that classic Floyd line, short people can pack a punch. Kind of smart, a bit savage, but also showing respect. It shows how vital ring generalship and footwork are against Manny's pressure. Floyd knew about that short-range power and neutralized it with movement.
It's also interesting they share two common opponents. Gives us some direct comparisons, maybe.
It does, yeah.
Barrios beat Ugas in 2023. Ugas beat Pacquiao in 2021. Then Barrios lost to Thurman in 2022. Pacquiao beat Thurman back in 2019. What do those results tell us, if anything?
Well, they offer a really interesting comparison, but it's not simple ABC logic,
Right, timing matters.
Exactly. Barrios beat Ugas more recently than Ugas beat an older post-layoff Pacquiao. And Pacquiao beat Thurman when Manny was closer to his peak, while Barrios lost to Thurman later. It shows how things change, how styles match up differently at different times. It adds layers, but doesn't give a clear answer. Just more intrigue for the chess match.
Definitely. And before we wrap, we should mention the undercard, too. It's not just about the main event.
Absolutely.
There's that big rematch, Sebastian Fundora versus Tim Hsiu for the WBC and WBO super welterweight titles.
Yeah.
Hsiu's coming off his first loss to Fundora. Adds a lot of drama to the night. It's a stacked card.
Yeah, really elevates the whole event. Great night of boxing planned.
So, after hearing all this, what does it all mean for you? Listening in, you've heard the arguments, the physical stuff, the tactics, the money talk, and just the sheer force of a legend trying to beat time.
Yeah.
This isn't just another fight. It feels like a story playing out right in front of us, a real test of will.
And maybe as we think about Manny Pacquiao, 46 years old, stepping back in there against the odds, against time itself, what does that really signify for you? Is it just about the win-loss column? Or is there something deeper, that almost mythic drive to get in the arena one more time, to test your limits, see what's possible, even if logic says maybe you shouldn't? What does it say about that human desire for one more shot, one more challenge, even when the odds are stacked against you?
Thank you for that report. I have to correct Ella on one thing. Manny Pacquiao is in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. She said in her report he's a future Hall of Famer. He already is one. But that, that's a minor correction. She does her homework. She tries her best. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that segment. And maybe, I hope, I can't see Pacquiao winning that fight, but, strange things happen, and he's up the way from me because I'm in Thailand. He's in the Philippines. I would, a couple of years ago, they said that he was going to come here to fight, and maybe if he wins this, he will have a fight in Thailand. You never know. But anyway, I just wish him good health as well as with Ricky Hatton. These guys, it's in their DNA, and they're fighters. They want to fight and all, but there's a time where you got to, that's a hard sport. Well, all sports are. And you got to let it go at some point. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that segment with Malcolm and Ella. And like I said again, they have their own show, Sports Bites. Hope you enjoy that. And I know some folks are saying, well, they sound like they're AI. Well, they could be. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. We do a lot of research with Malcolm and Ella. Some things may slip up, but we do a lot of it. But anyway, we got right now Kiki, the ring card girl with the boxing history for the week of July the 20th July the 13th through the 19th. And I'm looking at the wrong calendar. I'm looking at August over here. Well, let's see right now on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
This is Kiki, your ring card girl with your boxing history for the week of July 13th through July 19th. July 13, 2001. Mickey Ward defeated Emmanuel Augustus by 10-round decision. July 14, 2007. Paul Williams became the WBO welterweight champion as he defeated Antonio Margarito. July 15, 1931. Kid Chocolate became Cuba's first world boxing champion in history by defeating Benny Bass. July 16, 2011. Kevin Mitchell defeated John Murray for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Lightweight title. July 17, 1974. Bob Foster retained his world light heavyweight title with a draw with Jorge Ahumada. July 18, 1951. Jersey Joe Walcott became the oldest heavyweight champion at the age of 37, a record that would eventually be broken in 1994 by 45-year-old George Foreman. July 18, 1996. Muhammad Ali lit the Olympic flame during the opening ceremony in Atlanta in what many consider the most inspiring, poignant, and emotional moments in Olympic history.
Thank you so much for that, Kiki, and I hope you enjoy. So many folks like the history because they're just amazed with the long legacy of boxing. It's just something, and I hope you enjoy those segments. And if there's a segment you would like me to try on the program, just let me know. Because like I said, we also, besides doing the fantasy fights and talking about real combat sports, we also have authors on here. We've had boxers on the program, live in the studio. And whatever you want, we'll try our best to do. But anyway, we're switching gears right now because, like I always say, this is a boxing variety show. And we're getting into the musical segment. And hopefully, I won't be banned again by Belarus and Russia because they don't, on YouTube, they will not play my show. It's amazing. But anyway, right now, we're going to Mali, and we're going to do Songhoi Blues. That's the name of the group. And this is a Garabu. So let's hear this on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Wahinishe, karibu yo wahinishe, wahinishe, ibawa ya tale yatime. Wahinishe, karibu yo wahinishe, wahinishe. Baba yo tali yatimi yo Zanga, zangiwi Gango pomai chiri gakan gango yo bai gadira gango waina chiri gazui bata mishi badar rishi bangayan shi zankai wai mabafa ngakani doga uzundiga ngangado ga uzundiga ngachirkari ga uzundiga ngachirkwasi ga uzundiga ngahuri ga uzundiga zankawu ga bafaba zankai Ishinga kabori, ishikani kabori, ishidu safari, ishikwai ekol. O kalido, manti bang ibayoro. Wainishe, waramahinishe. Wainishe, waramahinishe. Waino kanara, igodira kayara. We don't gonna igadira kayara gariboyo
Sexy long legs and a skin tight jean. Face like an angel, eye like a cat. Way too hot, ain't got no thermostat.
She's a walking heart attack. She's a walking heart attack.
She'll draw you like a moth to a flame. Lie awake at night, calling her name. When you go to sleep, you toss and turn. You beg for more, you'll never learn. That girl's a walking heart attack. Look good from the front, but better from the back. She ruined so many men, she lost track. That girl's a walking heart attack.
She's a walking heart attack. She's a walking heart attack.
Every mother nightmare, every man dream. Sexy long legs in a skin tight jean. Face like an angel, eye like a cat. Way too hot, ain't got no thermostat.
She's a walking heart attack. She's a walking heart attack.
She'll draw you like a moth to a flame. Lie awake at night, calling her name. When you go to sleep, you toss and turn. You beg for more, you'll never learn.
That girl's a walking heart attack.
Look good from the front, but better from the back. She ruined so many men, she lost track.
That girl's a walking heart attack.
Ooh-wee, look at that girl. You know my doctor told me, said, Johnny Wrong, that girl ain't no good.
She's a walking.
You know you getting old. That girl gonna give you a heart attack and kill you. I said, well, Doc,
She's a walking
goodbye.
heart attack.
Cause if that kill me, I don't mind that. OMG, look at that. Oh, man. Go ahead.
Ever since George Washington led his troops into battle against the tyrannical rule of King George, Great Britain and America have had, at times, an adversarial relationship. But it wasn't until the Brits, armed with troubadour-clad electric sitar players, and Americans, led by bebop jazz musicians who disposed of their acoustic pianos in favor of lethal guitars, that the inevitable conflicts occurred. Accusations of pretension reverberated as the two factions settled their differences on the battlefield of sound.
Them close to the edge.
We're being bombarded with shells as thick as a brick.
We face a canny adversary, men. They've traded in their Brooks Brothers suits for dashikis from the Sears catalog.
If you see someone dressed and prancing around like a friggin' leprechaun, shoot!
Oh no! They've started in with the endless bass solo.
Oh no! They're retaliating with an endless bass solo of their own.
Those sons of bitches are brewing up a chemical warfare attack. Set the fog machines to full blast. Fire on command.
We have no other option. Release the chemical brew.
The soldiers dressed all in white and playing at double-neck guitars, demanding a moment of prayer. Time to attack.
They're pelting us with Bach inventions and lizard poetry.
Burn all of their Tolkien books. War is hell.
They've got backup. They have backup. It's the London Symphony Orchestra. Oh, the humanity.
Release the Mellotron!
Oh, my God. I didn't think the bastards had the guts. They've unleashed the Mellotron. They've unleashed the Mellotron.
They've unleashed something. I don't know what it was. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. That was a little different there on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast. That was the Ed Palmo Big Band, and There Comes a Time. That's from their new album, which is called Progressive versus Fusion. It's all about comparing traditional jazz to fusion jazz with a little hip-hop, a little bit of everything in there. Some blues, some hard rock. It's something, but it's a nice little CD, album. You should check it out. And before that, we did my man Johnny Rolls, and that was Walking Heart Attack. I've known a few of the women like that, but anyway, that's another story. And we started set off with Songhoy Blues, and that was Gariboo, and they're from Mali. And I hope you enjoyed that music. We try to go a little bit everywhere here, because after all, I'm in Bangkok, so I try to get some international music in here as much as possible. And I've done, and I will do some more music from Thailand and other Asian countries. I hope you enjoyed it, because it seems like a lot of people do enjoy that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the music as well as the program, the total program today. Our featured fight today was Ricky Hatton versus Aaron Pryor, junior welterweight fight, and Hatton lost that one in the second round. And we had a commentary about him fighting as well as Manny Pacquiao fighting, coming back at the ages of 46. You know, that's a shame. Maybe they will eventually fight each other, but we shall see. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the program today. And as I always say, go in love and go in peace. Help someone along the way. We're on this big blue ball. It's easy for me to say, this big blue ball together. So do what you can to make it a better place. Get up in the morning, give yourself a big hug, and say you love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anything. You can't do anything. So do what you can in your community, wherever you are in this universe, to make it a better place. Help a young person that needs help, a senior that needs help, animal that may be in distress at some point. Pick up trash in the neighborhood, but do what you can, you know, just to make it a better place and be someone who brings positive vibes to your area. But again, this is Greg Rashid. Go in love and go in peace. See you next time on the Shoulder Roll Virtual Boxing Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Please become a member at patreon.com under the title Ringside Fantasy Fights and News. See you next time.